Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to talk about different options you have if you want to retire in Cambodia but you're not quite 55 years old, which is the main requirement for retirement here. I had a couple different people with a couple different situations. So we'll go over both of those and I'll tell you about your options. Even though they might not be ideal, there are ways to get that done. And we'll talk about all that. But first, as always, I want to remind you that I have books for sale. You can see the 5 books on your screen. They start at just $1. There's a link down below if you want to purchase them. And also, we didn't meet our financial goal last month, but that's all right. This is a new month. Chumben is coming up. And if you want to help us celebrate by getting all those extras, we're looking for $250 this month. I do have links down below for PayPal or Ko-Fi.com. And if you want to donate and help us do that, that would be awesome. That's just $25, 25 people with $10 each, 50 people with $5 each, or one very rich man who's very generous for the whole $250. However we got to do it, I think we can get there. We love our supporters. It's all very much appreciated. So be sure to check out those links as well. And hey, because it's October and it is the spooky season, I want to give a shout out to my other channel called Horror Reads. As you can see, those are the last 3 videos I did. I make videos on that channel every 3 or 4 days discussing and reviewing the latest horror books I've read. So it's a spooky season. You might find your next favorite horror book amongst my channels. So there's a link down below for that as well. And be sure to check that out. All right. So a couple different people want to come over here and that have contacted me and retire, but they're not quite 55. The first scenario is somebody who is coming over here early next year, and they said they will be just a few months shy of being 55. So they'll be 54 with just a few months to go, but they don't know what kind of visa extension to get until they reach 55. In a situation like that, I do want to say that if you go to a travel agency, they're not as strict as if you went right to the Department of Immigration in Phnom Penh to get your extension. Those people are very strict on the rules. But I don't think that would be an issue. If you're 54 and you're going to turn 55 in just a few months, I don't think they're going to say, nope, you got to wait till the exact day you turn 55 and there's no way we're going to do it for you. I know people who have slid by a few months, you know, maybe almost a year, just because they're not real sticklers on the rules at most of these travel agencies where you go to get your visa extension and renew those visa extensions. So first, I don't think that's going to be a problem. But if you do come in here on an E-type visa and then you can't get your ER extension for whatever reason, if you do find one that just doesn't want to do it until you're exactly 55, here's a way, and it's not the easiest way, but here's a way to stay in Cambodia for 6 months without any documentation except for your passport and visa fees. And you can do this for 6 months, and maybe it also applies to people who just want to come over here for a half year and check it out first before you decide what exactly you want to do. And like I said, it's not the easiest way, but it is a way for you to do that if you're concerned about not being exactly 55. And the way to do that is you want to come over here on a tourist visa. That is good for 30 days. You can extend that one time in country for an additional 30 days, so that would give you 2 months. Now at that point is where the difficult part is, because you would have to leave the country, take a day trip up to one of the borders and go into another country, come back in, take a flight, spend a couple days somewhere else, however you want to do it. But you would have to leave the country, and when you come back in, you would then get your E-visa. And the E-visa would be good for another 30 days, so that would give you 3 months. And when that visa expires, you go to get the EG visa extension. This one requires no documentation except for your valid visa and passport, and that is good for 3 months, one time only. So that would give you your other 3 months. The only real hassle is, of course, you would have to leave the country and do a border run at some time, uh, after your last 30-day tourist visa expires. But without any documentation except for your passport, it is a chance to stay in the country for 6 months. And so if you're just a few months shy of being 55, doing it that way would just give you enough time to make sure that you're not going to get turned down for your ER extension, so you can retire if you're worried about that. But like I said, I don't think that would be an issue if you're just a few months shy. I don't see them turning you down. But if you do want to be on the safe side and not take that chance, that would be the way for you to do it. Come in on a tourist visa, extend that after the 30 days for an additional 30 days, leave the country, come back, get your E-visa for 30 days, and then change that to an EG extension for 3 months. And that will give you all 6 months you need. And like I said, if you're just trying to figure out if you do want to live here or what you want to do, I know some people will say, I don't know if I want to teach or if I want to retire, depending on the situation. Well, that'll give you 6 months for you to decide, and then you can get the proper visa extension for whichever choice you eventually make. But let's say you're not even close to 55. Let's say you're 35 or 40 or 45 or something like that, and you have enough money to live every month here, but you're just not old enough to get an ER extension to retire. Can you do that? The answer is yes. Again, it's not really easy, and it is going to be more expensive, but you can do that. And keep in mind, to get the retirement visa extension, there is no monetary qualifications. You have to be 55 or older, according to the rules, and you can get your retirement visa extension. 55 or older, you'll sign a piece of paper, put your thumbprint on it, and good to go. But if you're not quite there, when you come in, you want to come in on your E-visa, which is the ordinary visa. That is good for 30 days, as I said. And then when you go to get your extension, you want the EB extension. Now, normally this is the one you need if you're going to work. However, if you explain to the visa agency and the travel agency that you are self-employed, okay? Yes, if you're self-employed, there are companies that will give you the documentation you need to get that visa extension, and you will then get a work permit that's required with that extension, but you will get a self-employed work permit. Now, this isn't actually retirement, but it is the closest way to do that without actually having to work or worry about getting work documentation. It's actually going to be the EB visa extension with a self-employed work permit. And you can get that done every year, so it's like a retirement visa extension. It's good for up to a year. And once you have it, you have no more issues, and you don't have to work because you're self-employed. So that's the closest thing you can get to a retirement visa extension without being 55. The only issue with that is that I know people who have done this, and it costs around $600 for the year. So that's kind of more expensive than just a regular 1-year visa and work permit normally. But you have to get other documentation, and they're going to take their money out of it and everything. So yeah, that'll be an extra, about $50 a month for you to save up to get that every year. But other than that, if you're just, 35 or 40, even if you have money coming in every month to support yourself, if you're not 55, they're not going to give you the ER visa extension. But getting the E visa initially and then applying for your self-employed EB visa extension, your self-employed work permit, you can still stay in the country as long as you want. It will be more money every year, but it'll be almost like getting an ER visa extension, almost, just a little bit more expensive. But that is an option, and I know people who have used it. So that's always a possibility if you just want to do that. And I do wish Cambodia would allow people who are not 55 to be able to get a retirement extension if they can prove and show proof of enough monthly income coming in. But right now, as far as I know, that is not a thing. So you'll have to choose one of those other options I just gave you. But they'll work. So I mean, you know, that's the most important thing, I guess. They will work if that's something you want to do. All right, so be sure to check out all my links down below. Like I said, I have PayPal and Ko-Fi.com if you want to donate. I have books down there if you want to buy those. I have other vloggers from this part of the world. They are making awesome videos. All those links are down below. And of course, check out my channel, Horror Reads, for all your favorite horror book content. All right, from Siem Reap, Cambodia, I will talk to you guys in the next one.